Hello and welcome. I'm Gargi Rawat. You're watching me on youtube.com/NDTV, the site to go to for all the videos from NDTV 24/7. Now here you can see our top 5 stories of the day. India's first coronavirus death took place in Karnataka. It was a 76-year-old man who died. We'll get you more details on that. COVID-19 hammers world markets, and across the world stock markets have plummeted over the uncertainty given the economy in the face of this coronavirus pandemic that's been declared by the WHO, and with restrictions coming in place in various countries, lockdown in Italy, restrictions in the United States, restrictions in India as well. So really uncertainty about how this will impact economies, and of course markets very jittery. 3 soccer teams in self-isolation. This is after one of the players tested positive for coronavirus, and why the world is now saying namaste. So really everybody talking about social distancing and how one shouldn't shake hands, and now everybody turning to the Indian way of greeting, that is by saying namaste. In Madhya Pradesh, that political crisis continuing, and the speaker has summoned the rebel Congress MLAs who are currently staying in Bengaluru. In fact, Kamal Nath just went and met with the governor Lalji Tandon, and he spoke about the floor test, and he said it is the speaker who will decide on the date of the floor test, and he claimed that the democracy was under attack in Madhya Pradesh and that its MLAs are being kept against their will in Bengaluru. So let's take a look at that top story. The first death that India has seen from coronavirus. We've had over 70 cases, but this is the first death. Remember earlier as well, there was one death in Ladakh that was suspected, but that was never confirmed. There was a death in Bengal, in Murshidabad, but that was then, it was ruled out that it was due to coronavirus after testing. However, this man, this 76-year-old who had returned on the 29th of February from Saudi Arabia, and what I suppose is somewhat scary is that he passed through the airport, and there was some checking, we're told, but we don't really know what sort of checking took place over there, but he did not exhibit any symptoms. And he came home, and it's only later in March, that March 6th, I think, that is when he was unwell and taken to the hospital, and then he finally died on Tuesday. And now, after that, it has been confirmed that he was suffering from coronavirus. So now the challenge for the Karnataka government is to actually get in touch with everyone this particular gentleman came in contact with. Of course, the people who are elderly are said to be more vulnerable from this novel coronavirus because it affects them more drastically. And here the Health Minister of Karnataka, Sri Ramulu, tweeting the 76-year-old man from Kalburgi who passed away and was a suspected COVID-19 patient has been confirmed for COVID-19, and the necessary contact tracing, isolation, and other measures as per the protocol are being carried out. So this is what he tweeted yesterday night, therefore confirming the first death that has taken place. Now, meanwhile, in Delhi, the big breaking news coming in, a press conference by the Delhi minister and Manish Sisodiya. They're calling a press conference, and he's our education minister, and they're saying that no sports events will be held in Delhi, which means no IPL matches. He said we're still waiting for what the BCCI decides, whether they go ahead with closed door matches. That means matches without any spectators, but the Delhi government is very sure we don't want any big sporting events, no gatherings, no conferences of any kind being held. Already there are other rules that have come into effect in Delhi, which is that schools are shut down now till the end of the month. Also, cinema halls have all been closed down because we don't want people gathering in a closed space. So various measures are being taken, and a lot of awareness is being created. So the Delhi government announcing they don't want any sporting events to take place amid this coronavirus outbreak. So they're saying that no IPL. Meanwhile, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has attacked the government over its dealing with the coronavirus outbreak, and he's accused them of being in a stupor. So many have questioned this, saying that the government has taken steps and their facilities being created, there's testing taking place, there's a lot of awareness being created. However, Mr. Rahul Gandhi doesn't think it's enough, and he's tweeted, I will keep repeating this. The coronavirus is a huge problem. Ignoring the problem is non-solution. The Indian economy will be destroyed if strong action is not taken. The government is in a stupor. So that is what he claims, that the economy will be impacted. However, we have seen today the stock markets just tumbling. drastically. It's been called a Black Friday today. On opening, both the Sensex and Nifty crashed by 10%, and they hit the circuit breaker, which means that it had crashed so drastically they had to stop trade for 45 minutes. Around 9:30, around 9:20, 9:30, trade was actually stopped because the Sensex crashed over 3,000 points. The Nifty crashed to below the 9,000 levels. But then on opening, it was very interesting because then on opening, there was this sharp rebound. The markets recovered. In fact, they went into the green as well. But then again, they have gone into the red. So really a lot of volatility in the markets. As we said, world markets, in fact, experiencing this volatility. The US markets, the Dow Jones experienced its worst, showing its worst drop in over 30 years. So this is really a reflection of that we're seeing in the Indian markets as well. And in international news, as far as coronavirus is concerned, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's wife has been confirmed with coronavirus, and we knew this yesterday, that she was suspected of coronavirus because she had returned from the UK. She had spoken at some event in London, and after she came back, she started exhibiting certain symptoms, and so it was made public that Justin Trudeau and his wife would be self-isolating. And this morning, the confirmation coming in that she has got coronavirus. Justin Trudeau saying that he will continue. He tweeted that he will continue to work. He will self-isolate and continue working from his house, and he will be holding his through video conferencing, etc. He will be in touch. He says, I have some additional news to share this evening. Unfortunately, the results of Sophie's COVID-19 test are positive. Therefore, she will be in quarantine for the time being. Her symptoms remain mild, and she's taking care of herself and following the advice of our doctor, and he too will remain in isolation. All right, and the World Health Organization also talked about how they declared coronavirus a pandemic because it seemed countries were not taking it seriously enough. And now we are realizing that more and more cases are emerging, that perhaps borders should have been restricted a lot earlier. Perhaps we should have been more aware about the spread of the virus in countries like Iran and Italy, and perhaps earlier people coming in from there should have been restricted. Of course, now it's all in hindsight. So WHO, they're saying that the reason they've called it a pandemic, and that is something that's really, of course, causing a lot of anxiousness regarding coronavirus, but it is because of that, because people, like even the US president kept referring to it that it's like a flu. So for those sort of reactions, so that people take it more seriously, because even if you and I don't get it, or even if we get it and we're younger and we can manage to deal with it, remember, you still become a carrier and you can pass it on to others. And that is the big worry, that people who are more vulnerable, like people who have some sort of disease or are undergoing treatment like for cancer, or people who are elderly, may not be as lucky, and they may suffer it the worst. And very interesting is how the Indian Namaste is now being seen everywhere, and the latest was Donald Trump. Just listening.
Each other, we said, what are we going to do? It's sort of a weird feeling. I think we said at the same time we did this. I just got back from India, and I didn't shake any hands there, and it was very easy because they go like this, and Japan goes like this. They were ahead of the curve. Okay? Now we looked at each other, and we said, and we also had a lot of press staring at us, right?
All right, so there Donald Trump talking about the Indian greeting Namaste, and how that's how he's going to be greeting world leaders when he meets them. Well, that's all the time we have for you. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.